Good evening and welcome to BizNews. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez.
Good evening.
Tonight we have for our guest Mr. Joe Marie Chan. We are a huge fan. My mom's a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you, Beth. Hello, Tony.
Welcome to our show.
What took you so long to invite me?
Joe Marie Chan is actually a successful businessman, a sugar baron.
No, I can't say.
A multi-awarded singer and songwriter. There's so many other adjectives.
One of our greatest artists.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I can't say that either.
And classic, really, because everybody loves your song. It doesn't matter.
Be careful. Classic means old.
No, I don't mean that.
Anyway.
Classic and popular.
Timeless.
Yeah. Thank you.
Timeless and very popular. Because you do a lot of collaborations, too. Even right now.
Well, I started writing my own songs without having to collaborate with anyone.
Yes.
And then finally, of course, then you realize that you don't have a monopoly of ideas.
Yes.
So I write music, and then occasionally I get lyricists to write the words. Especially if it's in Filipino.
Yes.
Then I get guys like Greek Ortalesa, Jimmy Santiago, even Tino.
Rolando Tino.
The late Rolando Tino wrote words to one of my songs.
So how did you start with?
Okay.
It's a talent.
It's a long story. Yeah. Do we have 6 hours? I was 9 years old when my yaya took me to a radio station in Iloilo. I'm from Iloilo, by the way. 9 years old when he took me to a show called Children's Hour. It was a Sunday show where kids of all ages recited poetry, played the piano, and I chose to sing the song Granada. No, you're too young to remember that song.
No, Granada.
Oh, yes, that's the song. Ernesto Licuona.
Yeah.
And at 9 years old, I didn't understand.
9 years old, melting out Granada.
That's why I didn't understand the words that I was singing.
Yeah.
And that's rule number one. If you don't understand the words you're singing, you're liable to make a mistake. So in the middle of the song, I froze. I forgot the lyrics. I guess it was stage fright.
Yeah.
So it was a song that I never finished. My first radio appearance. I didn't deserve the popsicle. Huh?
But at 9, that's at 9 years old.
Yeah. Then I started singing in school programs. And then in high school, then I joined a small combo. Now they call it band.
Yeah.
In those days, combo. And then college, I also had a college band. We played at parties. And that's how I started.
And you've actually done so many songs. A lot of them have hit the top charts.
Thank God.
When one of the most famous always actually is Beautiful Girl.
Thank you. And I would say that my most famous now would be Christmas in Our Hearts, because the recording industry has dubbed it as the biggest selling album of all time.
Wow, congratulations.
It has surpassed.
Album of all time, including the foreign albums.
Yes, yes. In the
Triple
Philippines.
platinum ba tawag dyan?
Now, umabot na ng double diamond.
Double diamond.
In the, when you go back, let's say, 10 years ago.
There's something higher than platinum, diamond?
No, platinum is 40. In the old days,
Yeah.
platinum was 40,000 copies.
Yeah.
Gold is 20, 40. When you reach 10 times platinum, which is 400,000,
half a million.
that's called diamond.
Yeah.
So
And you reach a double diamond.
So almost 1 million sold.
My
I think now
goodness.
it has surpassed 1 million. And the industry now, because of piracy, rampant piracy, and in order to encourage local artists, they have lowered the standards. Now gold is only 7,000, and platinum is 14,000.
And gold, diamond is?
Well, 10 times so. So, in that sense, my kids tell me, Dad, no one can surpass your
So 1 million,
Christmas in Our Heart.
1
Not
million,
because they're
album,
not good songs, but
and
because
one album is what? 400 pesos?
No, the CDs now, they have brought it down to 300.
300.
In order to compete with the pirates.
No, its going rate is 300 to 495.
$495 is already on the high side.
A high side.
Yeah. I would say $250, in fact.
Yeah.
$250, $300, $350. Yeah. The industry has
So
changed.
your
a lot.
album made about 200 million.
Well, I don't know. I don't know because the recording company is not saying. And based on the checks that I received, not quite. Yeah.
Pero most popular or best-selling single ever?
Christmas in Our Hearts.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. And Beautiful Girl is
Follows
just one
next.
diamond
One diamond.
from the album Constant Change.
Yeah.
That Constant Change,
That's a
humility
wonderful
aside,
album, really, that one.
there were several hits there,
Yes.
including Please Be Careful With My
Yes,
Heart, which is
yeah.
now the theme of the #1
Yeah,
teleserye.
telenovela, yes.
Yeah. And finally, I
And they
met
bought,
Richard Yap.
they bought your song as a team?
They didn't buy the song. They only purchased the rights.
All right.
So they pay you every year for the use of the
So
song.
every night you get paid for it?
You know that song, no?
Please Be Careful With My Heart.
Yeah.
They removed the word please. So it's just called Be Careful With My Heart.
A little more direct. Huh?
Wherever I go, I mean, all over the world, when I do concerts for the Filipinos, they request be careful with my heart because of the channels now that reaches the United
Yes.
States and Europe.
Yeah.
Finally, I met Richard Yap and Jody
Yeah.
Santa Maria at their wedding. So I felt like we were old friends.
But how do you, because you have such a long staying power, honestly. What is the secret for that? How can
No,
people have this?
you just have to write songs that can easily be sung, songs that leave an LSS, last song syndrome,
Oh, yeah.
songs that touch people's lives, words that they can relate to. I think that's the only secret.
Pero to be able to write, you must be a very good writer. Kasi 3 stages ka. First you compose,
I write the melody.
Yeah.
And then I live with the melody for several days,
And you write the lyrics.
even weeks,
Yeah.
to determine what would be the best theme or what story
Yeah.
to tell.
Melody
Now you
first.
start with the melody.
Melody first.
Melody first.
Not lyrics.
No, no. The only time that I wrote melody against the lyrics
Yeah.
of someone,
Yeah.
Ninoy Aquino had a poem called "I Have Fallen in Love with the Same Woman 3 Times," which he wrote for Cory.
Yeah. That was played during the Cory,
Yes.
diba?
And so that poem was given to me, and they asked me if I could set it to music. And so I did. But you know, it came this is a story that I love to tell. I think it was Cecile Alvarez who gave me the poem and asked me, because in 2 weeks they were going to celebrate Ninoy's death anniversary. And they asked me if I could set it to poem. I mean, set it to music.
Yes.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah, set it to music. So when I went home from work, I had lunch with my wife. And after we said grace, then I showed her, I said, you know, this is a poem of Ninoy. It's a beautiful poem. Mahaba lang. You know, and
mahaba.
Mahaba. And at the end, it became highly political, talking about the ugly head of the dictator, so on and so forth. So I said, I think I'm just going to use the first part, which is romantic. And so I was taking the soup. I have fallen in love with the same woman 3 times. And then by the end of the meal, I had completed the song.
Wow.
But I think it was because I prayed to the Holy Spirit, and I prayed also for the soul of Ninoy. And I sincerely asked Ninoy, I said, you know, this is such a beautiful poem. Please inspire me to write an equally inspiring melody to pair with this. Because a good song is always a marriage of words and music. A good marriage between a husband and wife. You know, the longer the longer the union will depend on. Somebody was trying to cut our attention.
I'm sorry, because that's... All right, since you gave the sign, we're going to cut to a short break. We're speaking with Jo Marie Chan. We will be right back. back. During the break, we had a lot of picture taking here. So, ganun talaga if we're with a celebrity.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it. And I always accommodate whenever I'm at the airport or in malls and they ask me, can we have a picture? I never say no. Sometimes like, so, you know, your smile gets frozen.
Yeah.
Say, okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Oh, tagal, no? Then say, one more. Basta pa. Your smile is already frozen. No, but I genuinely like people, so I never say no to.
And there's 10 people other in line.
Music is good business professionally.
Okay. Nowadays, the music industry
Which makes more money, the singing or the
sugar?
songwriting?
At the moment, it's the singing. So it's concerts.
Singing,
It's concerts where artists make more money because royalties-wise, you know, from the sale of CD, CD sales are down dramatically.
Down CD.
Because of pirating and also you
because
can
of
download.
everything.
You can download
Everything.
the
Download,
internet.
music sharing, you know. Oh, ito na yung ganda yan. Pakopya.
Torrents. From torrents.
Yeah,
no?
that's right.
From?
Torrents. There's a software on the internet. Use torrents.
Yeah.
You just
You
download,
just download
music.
music and movies. Yeah.
Well, there's an iTunes, but you pay for
$1.
downloading, 99 cents.
Yeah.
There's also CD Baby.
Yeah.
By the way, my songs are in iTunes and CD Baby, so you can download them.
$1.
We also have a local
Local version of it.
Torrents
OPM to go,
software, you know?
my music store.
But we should do that because we need to support
Is that good for you?
artists. We
Does
need
it
to support
provide volume?
artists. That's how we.
This downloading?
In the US, quite a bit.
Okay.
You know, thank God, I get my checks regularly.
That's good.
The Philippines, wala pa. I think people are not yet
Philippines?
are not yet
It's a
used
country
to
of
paying.
artists,
No, what I meant is paying. You know,
For
let's say
music. Paying for
25
this, yeah.
pesos per song.
Yeah,
The Filipinos are not into that yet.
I'm not into that.
Why pay 25 pesos per song? I mean per album.
Yeah.
When you can buy a pirated CD for 30 pesos, 50
Yeah, 30
pesos.
pesos
You
sa
know?
Metro Walk, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's commercial,
Yeah,
Metro Walk.
yeah. Yeah.
You're telling people where to go to buy pirated.
Don't buy pirated.
You know, in Manila,
That's bad.
yeah.
Don't
In
do
Manila,
that.
it started with Mayor Lim,
Yeah.
and then later on with Mayor Estrada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pirates allowed.
Ano pirates? Wala na sa Quiapo.
They raid them and except that I think instead of raiding the retailers, they should go to the
Producer.
factory itself,
The supplier.
factory, and then close it down. You know,
Yeah. So it really is the shows. That's the one.
The
that's,
concerts, yeah.
And
But-
that's how the music industry has changed.
How many
here.
concerts do
in
you
fact,
conduct?
for example, the Universal Records,
Yes.
Yeah.
which was my main producer of my albums, now they are doing events and shows. They produce concerts.
Filipino company bang Universal?
It's Filipino, Filipino. So, but in the concert scene, you have a lot of foreign artists that are coming here every week.
Yeah.
Why?
Dapat
Yes.
bawal yun?
No, because it's a free country. You know, so, and it pains me to see that they charge 25,000 pesos per ticket.
Really? Yeah.
And then for the local shows, you're selling 2,000 pesos and then medyo hindi pa
pa sila.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we have venues now like Araneta Coliseum or the MOA, you know, big venues. Of course, you have the small venues like Music Museum.
Yeah.
You were asking how many concerts I do every year.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 10
concerts.
12 concerts a year. I try to space it so that it won't
That's a lot.
conflict with my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, Chinese New Year, I'm gonna be at Lucky Plaza.
Yeah.
And
Singapore?
No, Lucky
Yeah,
Plaza
here.
here in owned by Mega World here in
Ano tayo,
Chinatown.
Lucky Plaza?
And then I'm going to do, let's see now, February 12, I will be at the Assumption School. That will be like a small concert. And then February 14, I will be at Baguio Country Club, Baguio Golf and Country Club. Yeah, so, and then after that, I'll be doing shows in LA. A lot of Filipinos now scattered all over the world.
Yes.
Would you believe I've done shows in places like Dublin,
Ireland.
in Zurich, Oslo? I mean, you would think
Wow.
Oslo.
Norway?
Yes.
Yeah.
you would
There
think
are people
Oslo.
Filipinos in
Filipinos there. The Norwegians don't know me.
And the stadium is, how do you call it?
No, I don't perform in stadium. That's too big for me.
Too big.
I don't think I can fill up Araneta Coliseum anymore.
Oh,
What
come
is
on.
your most successful concert ever?
Probably, I would say my Carnegie Hall concert in New York City.
New York?
Carnegie Hall.
How many people went?
I said 2,000.
2,000.
Then I had a standing ovation. People
May
stood
black
up
tie?
to leave, to go home.
Black tie? Black tie?
No.
Ano?
Carnegie Hall. And then I also did Bellagio in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So those are the... Yeah. But, 2 Decembers ago, I did a show in Vancouver.
Of Canada.
And yes, and they provided me with a 25-member choir and an 18-piece orchestra.
18-piece, big, huh?
Yeah, so we were singing my Christmas songs.
Nice.
The
Wow.
grand-
And
grand.
I was so inspired. My music sounded glorious, and
Yeah.
I was telling my wife, I said, parang I couldn't believe that I wrote that music myself. Because
Ang ganda ng interpretation ng orchestra.
yes, yeah. So
Did you train with the chorus?
no, we only rehearsed.
Rehearsed.
Because the producer and the conductor had what do you call this? Rehearsed them before my arrival. Yeah.
Buti
So
nakakap ba niya yung nuance ng music mo?
yeah. So when you perform abroad, it's like performing before the microcosm of the Philippines. You have the Kapampangans, the Cebuanos. Here you really have to go to, let's say, Cebu to perform for the Cebuanos.
Yes.
So the Tagalogs here in Manila, or the Kapampangans in San Fernando, or
Bali, mas maganda sometimes to perform abroad.
yes,
You're
because
better appreciated abroad.
the people are warm.
Yeah.
When you perform, let's say in mga hotel shows here,
Yes.
people are a little bit reserved. They're there because they appreciate your songs, but
Sa abroad, people are exuberant.
when I was singing "Perfect Christmas" in one of my Christmas shows abroad, they were crying
Crying.
because they missed the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yun pala.
Some of them were crying because
So
they
may
said,
emotional
"Joe Marichan
attachment.
sounds bad."
Apart from that, you're
Joking.
also a comedian. All right. We're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. Well, welcome back. So, Joe, is there a favorite song for you?
Of all the songs that I've written,
Yes, of all the many songs that you've written.
How do you proceed? How do you proceed writing a song?
sometimes it just comes.
I just can't.
One time in New York, when I was living there, I was there for 11 years.
Yeah.
I was driving home from work,
Yeah.
and the melody just came to me. Ta-ra-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. And several weeks later, tell me your name, your love.
Nauna yung
Melody, always, always. To answer your question, what's my favorite song? It is like asking a songwriter, who's your favorite child? Diba?
Isa ng fair question.
Yeah, no, each song kasi was created, like each child was created under, different circumstances. So, ganun din sa kanta.
Is there a most memorable one?
Well, yeah. There's one called Hahanapin Ko. The lyrics were written by Jimmy Santiago.
Yeah.
Hahanapin ko.
Oh, ganda yan,
Awit at ang tinig mo pag nalayo sa'yo. I was living in the United States when I wrote that. Jimmy Santiago wrote the lyrics, and I submitted it to compete in the Metropop Festival.
Yeah.
It did not win.
It did not win. Why?
It didn't even place. Sometimes kasi, it's the decision of the judges. Some judges are prejudicial.
Yeah.
Si Joe Marichan, wag na, marami ng hits na yan. Diba? Sometimes it's, they're driven by their prejudice.
Sinasabi yung pangalan ng composer?
Yes. Okay, anyway, that song did not even place.
Yeah.
But I'm proud to say that of that crop of finalists that year, Hahanapin Ko remains until today. It has been recorded by Lea Salonga, Martin Rivera, Anthony Costello.
Yeah.
And I think it's a memorable song. I felt bad that my child was not recognized, you know.
Yes.
But na-vindicate din towards after many, many years that the song remains a classic. And now they have identified the song with mga balikbayan, OFWs. You know, hahanapin ko. So Leah sings that in her concerts abroad, so does Martin Rivera.
Nice.
They give you due credit whenever they sing.
Sometimes they don't, but it's okay. So when people like it and they look for the CD, they'll see my name there. You know,
So parang kanta ni Haji, ano, hahanapin ko.
Haji is Kaiganda ng Ating Musika. That's different naman. That's a different year. That was composed by Ryan Cayabyab.
Yeah.
Pero you have composed or written how many songs? And how many commercials?
I'm glad that we're not identifying that with children. Otherwise, they say, how many children do you have? Do you really have? I don't know how many songs I've written, Tony. 14 albums, but yeah.
But also numerous commercials. Like you've done a commercial for PTV4.
Yeah. Freedom within us, for you. Dun, 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 dun. Then, welcome world to our big, beautiful country.
Yeah.
And then commercials like, sa lasa't lasa, walang tatalo sa Alaska.
Tagal din na,
Yeah, that one.
Or, for people on the move, around the city, across the country, for weekend people, night people. What song is that? What jingle is that? Na 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 na, we are the Pina, na 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 na, BPI Express Teller, tick tuk tick tuk tick tuk tick tuk tick tuk tick tuk tick.
You did one also for PAL, for Philippine Airlines.
Yeah. Dreaming of love,
Yeah.
ba 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 ba. Now it's called Your Home in the Sky.
Yeah.
Ginagamit pa rin nila
They
hanggang
play
ngayon,
that
ah.
on the plane. Yeah.
Uy, sorry, inopo kita bigla.
Yeah. No.
You're younger than me.
Pero yung mga songs mo, hindi sila, you don't lose your copyright to them.
No. Yes.
Di ba after 50 years, maano na?
It becomes public domain.
Yeah.
Then you can renew it.
None of them has become
But
public
that's after
domain.
50 years, though.
Yeah. No. Philippine Airlines still uses that, although it was not composed for PAL.
Not composed
It was a
for PAL.
song by itself.
By itself.
And I remember the late
Then PAL
June.
adapted it.
No, then the late June Cruz. You remember him?
Yeah.
He was chairman of PAL.
Yeah, chairman president.
He calls me and then he asked me if they could use it for their airline.
Yeah.
So Ryan Cayabyab arranged the instrumental, and he even conducted it in one of his concerts. He loved to conduct it. The late June Cruz.
Yeah.
And then and then for many years nawala. And when Kapitan took over, Lucio Tan took over Philippine Airlines, he called me and because we're friends, he asked me if they could renew the usage of that song.
Even now, with the recent launching of the new PAL ads, no? Ginamit pa din, no?
Yeah. And they have those 4 beautiful models walking towards you. Your home in the sky. No, absolutely. I love the service of Philippine Airlines. And that's not just to promote our nation's flag
they
carrier.
don't get paid extra?
Well, they, of course they
Royalties?
paid me for
royalty.
for the use.
Every time they play it?
No, they
lump
don't
sum.
count the number of times. They just per year.
Per year.
And then,
Okay.
And sometimes I get extra mileage.
Yeah.
Extra
Mileage
PAL
credit.
miles. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, earlier, I don't know, you mentioned that apart from your singing, you have to work. Really?
Yes, I have to work. Because remember, we were talking about CD sales being down.
Yeah.
And I'm doing less and less concerts because my fan base is shrinking. They're aging.
Yeah.
Some of them, they sleep early. 8 o'clock, they're already asleep.
Yeah.
So...
Pero locally, what was your greatest concert?
No, I can't say that I had the greatest concert because they're all equal.
Equal.
I've performed in small venues.
Which is more appreciative, the Manila audience or the
provincial audience?
Provincial audience.
They're more warm.
Yeah.
And
Dito Manila audience is a little bit jaded,
I can't say they're jaded, but they're reserved.
Reserved.
But in the provinces, they're more, what's the word for it?
Enthusiastic,
Yeah.
exuberant.
Enthusiastic, and, it comes natural for them.
They have more fun.
No, I think that the people here in Manila also have fun because I mix my songs with jokes, to wake them up, because love songs will make people sleep.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We're
Again?
speaking with Jo Marie Chan, because there's a number of people, there's a line here who wants to take a picture with Jo Marie Chan. We'll be right back. So, Joe, you also work.
You were talking about DZRH. You mentioned DZRH. I remember as a child in Iloilo, we didn't have television yet.
Yeah.
Television didn't go to Iloilo until '63.
Yeah.
So our main source of entertainment was the radio.
Yeah.
And you could listen to DZRH, DZMB, DZAQ, DZXL radio stations. So when you're talking DZRH, Paeng Yabut, Lito Gorospe, Eddie Mercado, they were my idols on radio. Bobby Nang, Larry Nang, yes, Joe San Diego. Anyway,
Joe
yes,
San Diego
Beth.
still goes on the air on the PTV
Not
for
lately. Not
radio
lately.
station.
Not lately. She's
Weekends,
she's on. I don't know why, but she hasn't been on.
Yeah.
She hasn't been coming on board lately.
Do you have any show currently, radio or TV?
No, I have no radio show. I was a radio announcer when I was 13 years old.
Ah, you were a
in
radio
Iloilo.
at 13?
Yeah, on I was a Sunday disc jockey on DYHF.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool.
At
it was
13?
fun.
How fun that
13, so
how long did it go?
While the kids of my age were going to the beach, I was looking forward to bringing my stack of records and talking to the radio listeners.
Cool.
Yeah, I called my first show Junior Morning Chirper, JMC, Junior Morning Chirper. My initials.
Yeah.
Those from Iloilo would remember.
That's cool.
Anyway, you were saying.
No, I was going to ask you about, because you're chairman and CEO of Viscom, sugar industry.
Yes, it's Viscom is
Joe, which makes more
a sugar
money.
central, and I also have a refinery now. So, yeah.
Which makes more money, the music or the
No, the
business?
music no longer makes money.
No longer makes money.
Yeah.
In spite of the royalties and
No, as I told you, CD sales are down. The royalties are peanuts. Yeah.
So it's the sugar business that keeps you
well,
going.
thank God I inherited that business from my dad, who was a poor immigrant from China, and he made something of himself. He created that business. He built it from scratch, and so I inherited it from him. Thank God. So I was blessed to have a businessman father.
And sugar is still a good business.
Thank God, yes. If you can keep it lean and you manage it well, you have the right people, you have the right lieutenants and sergeants and generals, then you'll be okay.
But profits has been declining also, no?
No, we've been able to maintain it.
Maintain it.
Yeah. Despite the smuggling of sugar.
Yeah.
But we're part of the WTO, and in the ASEAN region, we're going to lower the tariff for imported sugar down to 5% next year.
5%.
So we're really looking forward to extreme competition.
Are you competitive?
So far, yes. So far, yes. We've been able to fight the smuggling of sugar. We supply some industrial users. I produce high-grade refined sugar, premium, Butler's grade. So I supply certain industrial users.
Like beverage companies?
Yes.
Pepsi,
Mainly beverage. That's a
maybe,
main user.
Yeah.
You have the best technology in the industry?
I can't say, it's not rocket science. I can't say that I have the best technology, but we keep upgrading because you cannot stay put. So you have to buy. In fact, now we're trying to go into cogeneration as
power.
as a means of additional revenues.
With the bagas?
Yes, bagas. But it's still on the planning stage.
Yeah.
Some other centrals have already beaten me to it. They've gone into it now.
Cogeneration. But bagasse is very competitive as a raw material.
Absolutely.
For power
You need it
generation.
right now
Because it's only
to fire your boiler.
Excess material.
You can't say garbage.
Excess materials.
It's the stock from the sugar cane.
But very high heat conversion.
High
heat conversion.
Yes. All the centrals use bagasse.
Yeah.
And so that's the secret of.
But you need to have a big partner to do that.
Big
on
partner.
Scale, no? To have scale, diba?
Not really.
Not really.
No, yeah. Most of the centrals in this country are owned by, let's say, single families or.
Yeah. But personally, what have been the highlights of your career?
Well, when I made my first appearance on television,
Your first professional appearance
I was a host
at 21.
I was a host of a TV show
TV show
called Nineteeners on Channel 9.
Yeah.
That was in 1966.
It went on for
then
how
I
many
made
years?
I was on for about 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And then I made my first single, 45 RPM.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that anymore, Beth.
5, yeah.
It's a small record with a big hole.
Yeah.
We call that 45 revolutions per minute.
There's a revival of the big record, diba? With an adapter for 45.
Yeah, they call it the vinyl.
Yeah, vinyl.
Yeah, there is a revival
They
now
cost more than the CD.
Because they
About
say that
1,000 to 2,000
it produces a warmer sound than a CD.
It's more natural.
They
even
say,
with the pops and cracks.
But I can't really tell the difference.
No, because the CD is masyadong malinis, sabi nila. Too digital.
It's like Singapore.
Yeah,
too clean.
Yeah. It's like having a speaker not made of wood.
Okay.
So if you run the record.
Yeah. Speaking of wood.
Yeah, wood speakers.
It's
the big wood
the
speakers.
wooden horse.
Yeah.
Next year. I mean,
this
the Chinese
year.
New Year.
This year, yeah.
Year of the wooden horse.
Next week, diba? This week, yeah.
Wooden horse reminds me of Homer. The
Homer.
Trojan horse. Beware the Greeks bearing gifts. Sino nagsabi nun? Beware the gifts bearing. Beware the Greeks bearing gifts. The daughter of Paris. No, Homer wrote Iliad.
Homer, yeah.
Homer, and when the Greeks brought in, when they brought in the Trojan horse
to enter the city, no?
And they entered the city, and then one of the daughters of the king or the sister of Paris told her dad, "Beware the Greeks bearing gifts." Brilliant line.
Yeah.
Beware, but not necessarily the Greeks.
Yeah,
in general,
I pity the Greeks.
Beware the people bearing gifts. Anyway.
So what kind of things do you think you mentor?
Then,
I'm sure you mentor.
Highlights of career. Hindi ka patapos yan.
Okay. Well, 67 when I made my first single.
Yeah.
Then 73 I represented the Philippines in Japan in a World Song Festival.
Yeah. Finalist ka, di ba?
I was not. Yes, I was a finalist, but again, it didn't win.
Didn't win.
So that song was "Can We Just Stop and Talk a While."
Ang ganda nun.
Fancy meeting you alone in the crowd. I performed before 30,000 people.
30,000.
30,000 Japanese.
Wow.
But the song didn't win. But it became a hit
Yes,
here. Then
in 74, you became TOYM, di ba?
TOYM, yes, 10 Outstanding Young Men. Because I had a series of television specials highlighting my music, spotlighting my music. So.
Yeah.
Then in 75, that's when we moved to the United States.
Yeah.
Because the sugar industry.
Because of martial law?
The sugar industry was taken over by Marcos and Benedicto.
Yeah.
And so my father, who was mainly a sugar trader, could no longer buy and sell sugar here.
Yeah.
So we moved to the U.S. and we set up a little shop there.
With your dad?
Yes.
With your dad.
We set up a little shop and I started trading sugar from Central and South America.
Yeah.
I was buying sugar in Peru, the Dominican Republic,
you went
Honduras.
International,
Not international, just Central and South America.
Yeah.
And selling sugar to the United States.
And how was
so
it?
I had to practice my Spanish, my Spanish 101.
How was it? 11 years.
It was an exciting time for me because it expanded my horizon.
Yeah.
But it was a tough business.
Tough business.
Tough business. 1 year you make money, next year you give it back.
Yeah.
So it was tough. But I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And
in the meantime,
it
what
also
happened
made
to
my family very close. You know, when you're living in the Philippines, there's a lot of social, joining
Yes,
this,
yes.
you know, people invite you to parties, then you have to reciprocate.
Yes.
In the United States, your business associates, pag weekend, they're with their families.
Small circle lang.
So you become close with your family. You do things together. So I think that's where we became close. My children grew up there. 2 of my kids were born actually in New York.
You're American citizens. No?
American passport holders.
Yeah.
All right.
But they also have Philippine...
Dual citizenship.
Yes.
Dual citizen, yeah. Okay, we're
Is
going to
somebody giving you a sign again? But that's a better sign than...
Nothing goes past you. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews.
Direct ilang minutes. Cheaper.
That one is bad.
Cheaper.
John,
I will say something about that.
In the
Yes,
music
please.
business for almost 40 years, no?
46 years.
46 years, more than 40 years. What advice do you give
Are we
aspiring
on-
artists?
are we on the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of advice can you give?
You know, it's tough now being a songwriter because the recording companies are reluctant to produce new original songs
Reluctant.
because they don't get back the money, their investment.
Yeah.
It's very tough. So go to the internet,
Yeah.
you know, advertise your songs,
Yeah.
for example.
Do it by yourself, ganun ba yan? DIY?
Well, with, you know, in collaboration with other
DIY,
people. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Stuff.
Although Senator Drilon has invited me to put up the Iloilo Arts Council.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to preempt Senator Frank, but we want to encourage local composers in Iloilo to write in Hiligaynon.
Hiligaynon. Yeah, there's a market for that, no?
I think so.
25%
In
of
other words,
Filipinos speak Ilonggo.
Remember our national hero, Jose Rizal, wrote in his book, The Philippines 100 Years From Now.
Yeah.
And at that time, he warned that the time would come that we will be embarrassed with our own music, that we will embrace what is foreign.
Gano'n sinabi niya.
Yes. And so that I'm afraid that is happening now. I mean, we are bombarded by Western music too
culture,
much. You know,
Foreign
that we
culture.
have forsaken our own. So we're going to try and encourage the local composers to...
Pati local instruments, native instruments, they're very good. Diba?
yes,
They're
yes.
diminishing too, no?
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, how about on the business side?
But the
On
challenges to your
On the business side,
Say a big soft drinks company is going to
And can you
is
call
using
high fructose
sugar
corn
from
syrup?
fructose.
Yeah,
that's correct. Without mentioning the product, there's a company. Well, that's why you have to read the label.
Yeah.
High fructose corn syrup. They import that from Korea, from China, and in the
Tax-free,
U.S.
duty-free.
In the U.S., that's proven to be the cause of obesity among American children. High fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
So I've been telling people when they see that,
Don't buy it. Don't drink it.
you use natural sugar.
It's because it's
Natural
cheap.
sugar
That's
is
what they're
better.
saying.
Better than high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
It's fattening and it causes
yung high fructose.
juvenile diabetes, high fructose corn syrup. Now, I'm not a doctor, but go to the internet and it will tell you between sugar and HFCS, high fructose corn
Baka
sweetener.
mahal naman ang sugar mo.
Well, you know, in the U.S., sugar is expensive because they protect their agricultural industry.
Soft drinks is 90% sugar, di ba?
I don't know the exact formula,
Yeah.
but I would say so.
Yeah.
So, no, as far as I know, Pepsi does not use high fructose corn syrup, and we're
That's
one
good,
of
'cause
the,
it's
we're one of
bad
the
for you.
suppliers of Pepsi Cola. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's good to know.
Future, what happens to the career, music in the Philippines?
Well, I will
Piracy is a big problem.
piracy and music sharing
Yeah.
and so because it's a poor country, poorer than U.S. for example,
Yeah.
and Japan, in the U.S. they're very strict with piracy.
Yeah.
They really go after you.
FBI will go after you. Huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
FBI,
they really go after you.
Even with just possession.
Yeah.
No, they're very strict. They have a lot of Dutertes there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So enforcement, there should be enforcement in the
Yes.
Philippines.
You know, look, last Christmas and New Year, the president had already said, let's ban firecrackers and fireworks.
Yeah.
Do you think people cared? They still did it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the next morning, there was a thick smog over the
Right.
metropolis.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people developed upper respiratory problems. So, you know, if I see the president, I'll say, as early as September, gather all the fireworks from Balitaan and all the importers from China, gather them in one meeting and say, pare, cooperate with us. You know, be like Davao, walang fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Joey. It's been a good career, no? One of
Thank
the best.
God, life has been good, and you know that's why when life is good to you, you have to share, you have to give back. You know,
And you are in two of the best businesses in town, music and sugar.
They're both
Both
sweet.
are sweet.
Saccharine.
But I think
The
that's one of
remarkable
the best lessons you can share, actually.
Every day, I give thanks.
Yeah.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. I give thanks for the blessings, but those who have the blessings have the responsibility also to share. That's why you need your people in the industry, and you need to compensate them well. If you make money, you have to give bonuses to share with your people. Make them feel that they are also co-owners.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. All right.
It's a very good thought. Thank you, Joey.
More power to you.
And the same to you, Beth.
Continued success.
Bring your product to Iloilo.
Yes,
Maybe
I'll
buy a unit.
Thank you.
Tony, thank you very much.
And from my mom, hello. She's a
Congratulations.
big fan of.
Hi, Helen. Good morning. Good evening. Is she in the United States? Good morning. Oh, she's in Manila.
here.
Good evening.
All right. You've watched another episode of BizNews. There's not enough time when we talk to Joe Marie.
Another episode.
Yes, I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez. See us every Monday at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night and God bless.